It's the DJ DNA podcast. I'm DJ DNA, and today we got my guy Bobby B Jr. in the building. What up, bruh?
Man, what's good, homie? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Bobby B Jr. Jr. Call me all the time,
Junior,
hang out all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Bruh,
That's right. How the fam, man? Everybody
we are
good?
doing great, man. We are doing absolutely great. I cannot complain. We got to get back out there to see you at some point, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to get out of Idaho first, though.
Oh, wait, where you at?
I'm in Idaho, man. I'm in Lewiston, Idaho. I got a job promotion, so
Oh,
I moved up here the first of the, I moved up the first of the year. I moved up, so yeah, I've been up here since February.
that makes a lot of sense because I'm sitting here and trying to, we're doing the back and forth, trying to see when I could get you on the podcast. And you're saying
Right.
you're 3 hours behind. And in my head, I'm like, I know he a smart man. I know Louisiana is only an hour behind, but it's his world. I'm gonna do what he say.
Right,
and then
right,
I'm
right.
looking and I'm reading the messages. You like, it's 5 o'clock here, it's 8 o'clock your time, and I'm just like, maybe the time zone change or something. That makes a lot more sense, bro. You in
Yeah,
Idaho, bro?
Yeah, man. Pacific Northwest, bro.
Wow, that's a big jump from Louisiana.
Yes, very much so. I mean, I've never lived anywhere else, so this was my first time. It was a true testament of faith, stepping out on faith, because I wanted an opportunity to be a supervisor. I've been railroading for 21 years, so it's something that I wanted to do, and the opportunity came up. They actually offered me the job here. I applied for another position somewhere else, well, the same position in another state, but they went with somebody else in that location. So then they turned around and offered me the job here in Lewiston, Idaho, and I was like, well, that ain't never been on my bucket list of places to be, but okay, so here I am.
Then I respect it, man. I honestly, I envy people who could just pick up and leave. I have friends who are transplants in other cities. Mallory, for instance, my girl Mallory.
Okay. Yeah.
She's from Ohio, and she transplanted into North Carolina. Not knowing anyone, just wanted to have another scenery. You know, that's a little bit different. But you got a promotion in Idaho, bruh. That's crazy. You know what's crazy about that? I definitely still want to come see you because mashed potatoes is my favorite food. And I know Idaho potatoes.
Let me tell you something. They don't even talk about the potatoes here.
They don't talk about the potatoes?
Nope. You know what's big here?
What's that?
Salmon.
Farms. That's one of the most farmed fish in the world, I think.
Yes.
That and tilapia.
Yes. That's all they talk about here. That's all they talk about here. I'm like, well, what's up with the potatoes? I mean, we should have a loaded baked potato, a mild baked potato, a seasoned baked potato. I mean, you should think that it would be all things mashed potatoes here, but it's not.
That's crazy.
It's not.
One of the things I definitely so I knew when I started the podcast, I'm like thinking about people in my life who I would want to have on the podcast, because I want to have interesting people or people who are doing stuff in their lives on my podcast so we could talk about it. And you were like one of the first people that popped into my head. I knew I had you in my back pocket whenever I called. I knew you would be here for sure. One of the things, I seen you on TikTok, or you seen me on TikTok while I was live, and then I let you know. I was talking on the live about all the dope things that I see you involved with. Yeah. One of the things that you're involved with is the train. Right? And that's actually what brought you out to Idaho. So let's talk a little bit about, you're not working for Metro North. You know what I mean? Like, no. That's what I'm saying. Let's talk about what you do for the train, right?
So I started my railroad career in 2004. I never thought I would be a railroader because that was never something that I thought about doing or envisioned doing. My goal was after high school was to go and major in music. That's my go-to. That's what I knew. I played saxophone. I played drums. I was in the band, was drum major. So railroading was something when I met my then wife is how I became into the railroading, because I mean, like I said, it was something that I didn't want to do or never thought I'd be doing. But that's something that I did. So I've been doing it for 21 years. And I started out at Kansas City Southern Railroad, which is a Class 1 railroad. You have your big railroads. You have Union Pacific, Business F, Union Pacific. and some other ones. But I worked for Kansas City Southern for 13 years, and I currently work for Watco. I've been working for Watco now for 6 years, and at my hometown in Minden, had an opportunity, wanted to pursue higher goals in the field. So I'm like, you know what, let's go for it. So toward the end of the year last year, I started applying for management positions, and here I am.
That's wild, man. So like that's where you at now. You live in
Yeah,
Idaho. You a Idahoan.
Idahoan. Did that even sound right?
It's gonna have to sound right. It's gonna have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
sound right.
yeah, yeah.
So like, when I think I'm from Connecticut, I'm from the Northeast. So when I hear train, I think of
Mm-hmm.
Metro North. I think of Amtrak, just bringing me down to the city. But it's
Right.
different because what you're doing, you're going across country, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the railroad is the backbone of the country. I mean, people talk about truckers, and much respect to the truckers, no
For sure, right?
disrespect.
No, for sure.
But they don't get their goods if we don't run trains. And so we deliver goods across this country. If you see something with the railroads that's going on, possible strikes, possible shutdown, then that's when you need to worry in the country, because we are the true lifeline of this country. And so that's something that I enjoy doing. I love being a part of it. I mean, it was like I said in the beginning, I didn't know anything about railroading, but it has blossomed into a career that I truly enjoy. And I got 9 years left, man, and I'll be
Oh, that's fine. So
walking to
how long have you been in that industry?
21 years.
21 years in that industry,
21
bro.
years.
I
Yep.
love history, and like you said, the country was built on railroad. It helped us
Hmm.
win the Civil War,
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
What is like the oldest railway? Is that how I would word it? Like,
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know that answer, to be
okay,
honest with you.
okay.
I mean, my goodness.
That's a
That's
crazy
something
question.
that you got,
I just thought of that just now too.
yeah. So that's something that piques my interest. I mean, I might have to go look that up myself. I mean, because you're talking about steam engines. I mean,
That's what I'm
it goes
saying.
all the way back that far. So I would have to go and see what was the first railroad, and see where all that started, because you definitely raised a question for me too as well.
There's gotta be like railroad museums where they're talking
Oh
about
yes,
right,
definitely,
right. Like
definitely.
the
So
westward movement and all that stuff,
yeah.
right?
So as a part of my railroad career, I'm also an Operation Lifesaver presenter. So I'm a volunteer. And so what that does is it gets more into the specifics of what you should do and what you should not do around railroad tracks. So I go out and educate people on the safeties of being around railroad tracks, in addition to my full-time job.
Got you.
Yeah.
We jump right into that because that actually I haven't talked to you in quite a bit. Last time I seen you, I seen you in Shreveport,
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
And so that blew my mind. So congratulations on your promotion and being out in
Thank you, man.
Idaho. And I can't wait to come see you out there.
Well, come on, man.
But talking about, and I always feel like I say it wrong. Is it Shreve or Shreve? Shreveport,
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Louisiana. What was
Yeah.
the name of the restaurant we ate at, bro?
Orlando's.
Orlando's,
Yeah.
man. Yo, that
Yeah.
shit spoke to my soul, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's some good food. That's why I'm going home for Christmas, and I can't wait. And I'm gonna get all the fixings while I'm there, because I mean, I love it up here, but there's no
Oh no,
good
I would
restaurants
imagine.
here.
I would
Yeah, but
imagine
Orlando's.
this might be prejudice. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but I'm sure Idaho's pizza is trash.
Correct.
How's they Chinese food? I'm assuming it's also trash.
Trash.
Man, but I bet you they got some good fish out there.
Trash.
Oh man, yo, damn. So Orlando's, man, I got the shrimp and grits.
Yes, sir.
That changed I love the shrimp and grits so much that you bought me an extra plate to bring back to Connecticut with me.
Yep. Yep.
I think Alicia
Yep.
got the gumbo,
Mm-hmm.
which was fine. It changed my life. We tried the alligator bites.
Yes.
which was fire. Whatever that sauce was with them alligator bites was bussin'.
Yeah, man.
Never thought
He
that I'd
does a
like
great
alligator.
job. He does a great job, man. Like that's one of the most prestigious and the most well-known restaurants. It goes all the way back to it used to be Freeman and Harris long time ago. And then it was Pete Harris, and then it was Brothers, and now Orlando. So it's just a family tradition, man. But that is probably the one of the most recognizable restaurants in Shreveport.
Right. If you're coming to Shreveport, you're gonna want to stop there and get some eat at Orlando's.
And it's on the lake, Cross Lake.
It's on the
Yep.
lake, and you see the train tracks.
Right. Right.
Yep. No, I
Right.
remember it. And with the cypress trees right there, right?
That's right.
Man,
Yeah,
I'll never
man.
forget that, man. That was a great experience, man. And
Yeah.
you know, that whole trip that we did, you know, we drove from Connecticut to Oklahoma. We
Right.
stayed with Alicia's brother for a couple of days, and then we drove from Mustang, Oklahoma, down to San Antonio. We stayed
Right.
in San
Boy.
Antonio for about a week, and then on our way back, we could have went diagonal straight back to Connecticut, but we had to bump over a little bit and go see my guy.
Man, it meant a lot for you to come and see me and share with your family, man. I had to show the hospitality, man. So
Yeah, it was
it
amazing.
meant a lot, man. I think it just strengthened our connection. We was already close. I mean, and that's one thing about these TikTok streets. Early on during the pandemic, it brought a lot of people together. I mean, I never would have met you. I never would have met Lethal or Bori or everybody else that's a part of the broadcast every morning. So that's one thing that I'm appreciative of. It created some relationships that will be lasting forever, man. So
No, for sure, and that's actually like I give a shout out to my wife for that too, because during the pandemic, my wife was off to work. She was dealing with people while she was at work. She was working through the pandemic, and I was here, man, with nobody. So being able to go online and meet people on TikTok and then take it over to other platforms so we could FaceTime, and it means the world to me too. I want to stay in Shreveport for a minute because
okay.
That's the area you grew up in, right?
Correct. I grew up 30 miles east of Shreveport, which is Minden, Louisiana.
Minden, right?
Yeah.
Big shout out to 50.
Yes.
Because I read recently that 50 invested and launched a few projects out there in Shreveport.
Yes.
One
Yes.
of them being G Unit Studios and television,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that studio has been there for quite some time. Back in I'm gonna say the early 2000s when the movie industry was really booming in Louisiana, Shreveport became a hot spot for filming. And so they built that studio. And you know, one of the things that people enjoyed was the tax credit that Louisiana offered, right? So for film and television. And so fast forward to 2024, to see 50 come down and do the things that he's planning on doing for the city, man, it means a lot because I think the city needs that. It really does. I mean, there's not a lot to do in Shreveport. You know, outside of the casinos, there's not really a big nightlife. There are some things to do, but I mean, it just depends on your age bracket, like me, you know, and I know we're going to get into this later, but I like to smoke cigars. So
You already
it
know.
just, yeah, man. So it's gonna do a lot for the city. If everything goes as planned. I think there's still the film tax credit on the ballot. I think they shot it down or maybe head into another source for another vote, but hopefully everything will work out in that aspect, man. And you'll see Shreveport like a small Las Vegas because he's gonna put the dome, the spear up just like it is in Vegas, man.
That's
So it's gonna be
fire,
nice.
bro. That's fire. Y'all gotta
Yeah.
have a football team out there. Watch.
Yeah, man.
That'd
Yeah,
be
man.
fire, man. That'd be fire. 50. Also, one of the things he doing. I think he invested like $2.3 million to downtown to revitalize
Yes.
for entertainment, just like you're saying,
Yes.
and affordable housing,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
huge, man. He could have did that anywhere, but I think it's important for people to hear you talk about what it means to you, being that you're from there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, being from the area and to watch Shreveport go from what it was to where it is. I mean, and granted, I mean, I think every city can echo these sentiments when I say, you know, you still got a long way to go and you got a lot of stuff that could happen. I think Louisiana as a whole for a state is behind on a lot of stuff, infrastructure, a lot of things that Louisiana is behind on. So to see a name like 50 Cent come to Shreveport, I mean, he could have went anywhere. He could have went to Dallas. He could have went to New Orleans. He could have went
Right.
anywhere. But to come to Shreveport, Louisiana,
Where it could be used the most, right?
yes, yes. And I think the city was excited, man. We had a packed weekend, no drama, no shootings, because oftentimes when you hear Shreveport, it's always associated with the negative aspects, the killings and shootings.
It's because
and
all
of
those things that 50's trying to bring there aren't there.
Yes, yes.
That's going to help with crime and everything.
Everything, man. So it means a lot, man. It means a lot for him to come to the city, put on for the city, bring his natural talents, his ideas to the city, put a lot of jobs in people's hands. I mean, it goes a long way, and I think a lot of people are excited about it. I'm excited about it. So when I go home, I can go home and be like, wow, this is what it is. So
hopefully you
man,
have somewhere where you could smoke your cigars and listen to music.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the cigars real quick, because
okay,
I enjoy a good cigar. I just don't know what a good cigar is, but I will say that once I talked to you about coming on the podcast, I cannot make this up. I went in the living room, and on the TV was how it's made.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about cigars. And I'm like, yo, this has to be crazy, so I started writing stuff down. I wanted to talk about Cuban cigars, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They were talking about Cuban cigars. Things that I wrote down, Cuban cigars, at least $20 a cigar. Is that true?
Yes.
About $20 a cigar. And it says that Cuba is one of the best places to grow cigars because it's a volcano island and it's very fertile and it's perfect for tobacco.
Yes, the soil is the most important part, but that's not all the way true.
Okay.
Because the word Cuban is the most synonymous name when it comes to cigars, right?
Yes.
So everybody's like, oh, you got to have a Cuban. A Cuban is not the best cigar to have.
Hey, gotcha.
It's not.
I think it's because
yeah.
It's probably because I'm sorry.
yeah. I've smoked a lot of cigars, and it's just not. I mean, I've had a Cuban. Nothing wrong with it. Love it, but there are a lot of good cigars. And to be honest with you, everything in that southern region, they're all connected some type of way. Whether it's Cuban seeded or the leaves are from Cuba. I mean, it's all connected. I mean, once you have good fermented soil, you can produce any good cigar, because there are three phases to a cigar. You got the wrapper, the binder, and the filler.
Yep.
And all those can be different. But that's what the main structure of a cigar is made of. So, I mean, I've had some good cigars. I've had some bad $20 cigars. I've had some good $5 cigars. So and the thing is with cigar smoking is I've never smoked anything in my life. I started smoking cigars in 2014 because I was curious, because I loved the way they smelled.
Right.
And so when I first started, I thought it was the nastiest thing as hell. I'm like, nah, man, I can't do this. I can't do this. But it had to be sweet. It had to have a sweet tip. It had to have some type of flavor for me to enjoy it. So fast forward 10 years, I can't stand them now.
That's crazy.
Because once you've educated and understood what you're smoking, then it becomes enjoyable. And there are certain things about the cigar that you don't like anymore. So I don't like cigars now with flavors.
Got you.
Yeah.
I think part of it with the Cuban is that people want what they can't have. And since the trade embargo, it's been really hard to get Cubans over here. So it's like, oh, look what I got. Look what I got that you can't get, right? So I think that's probably what it is. It's the name.
But I mean, it's and people have to get away from that, because I'm gonna tell you something. The cigar industry and the cigar culture has grown tremendously. Like, I remember when I started in 2014, and we have our own little group now, Shreveport, African American Cigar Society. Man, we kind of well known in this area. You know, we go to Houston every year for Cigar Week. Houston Cigar Week is probably one of the biggest cigar festivals in the country. When I went in May, it was over 17,000 people
Wow.
in attendance. And like I told you, when I got back, I hit you up. I said, hey, man, you got to come get some of this money.
I know you did. You did. You was like, man,
Yeah,
they
man.
can use you down here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because that's all it is. And you don't have to be in the main thick of things because everybody goes to certain cigar lounges. Every cigar lounge in Houston that week hosts something. And they're all always looking for DJs. So, man, I'm trying to connect the right people to you, man. So that way y'all can come down and enjoy that experience.
I
It
love
is
it.
absolute grown folk. It is no drama. We have a good time.
It's
and we go
grown. It's
hard.
grown. I seen women sometimes, right? Women with their cigars, because
Yeah, man.
you know, people think it's just men that smoke cigars, but there's
No.
some women out there too
No.
who enjoy a
Yeah,
good
man.
cigar.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's an enjoyable experience. I mean, for me, I enjoy it because it's a relaxation. I put my jazz on, I have my nice little cocktail, you know, grown folk got my little fedora on or whatever I'm doing, man. I absolutely enjoy the experience of smoking a cigar.
My whole life, the only thing I've known about cigar was cracking that bitch and just dumping the guts and putting devil's lettuce in there. So that's the only thing. You know, back in the day it was Philly blunts.
Right.
And then, you know, then it went to like my area, and I know everybody has a different experience. Then it went to like a green Garcia, right?
Yeah.
And then it went to like Dutch Masters, right? But I enjoy tequila. I enjoy whiskey. I am new to whiskey, dude. I am very, very, very new to whiskey, and I won't say I'm in love with it, but I love it, right? So I tell this story all the time, but for my birthday, someone got me a bottle of whiskey, and I was like, why would you get me whiskey? You know I drink tequila. Like, why would you get me whiskey? And he said, you should try something new. And it was Bullet. It was some bourbon. It was Bullet, the Bullet brand. You familiar?
Got you. Yes, I am.
So once I drank that bourbon, and then I got into the world. I'm so used to just throwing shots back at tequila. You know what I mean? If I'm at a wedding and it's open bar, it's usually tequila. They'll just give it to you on the rocks. Like, that's the only time I would drink it like that. Otherwise, I'm shooting it. But I had Mallory and Slink on the phone. They was like, yo, do not take a shot of that. Put it on the rocks or add some water to it. Figure, like, you don't know what you're doing, bro. So I put it on the rocks, and then it was a wrap from there. I got engulfed in the world of whiskey. I had to try rye. I had to try all the stuff. And I come to find out I'm a rye guy.
Yeah.
I like rye.
You need to try Angel's Envy rye.
Okay, all right. We're gonna talk about it. We'll send me a message. I'm gonna see if my What do you guys call liquor stores out there?
Liquor stores.
Okay, we call them package stores out here. But
okay, I got you.
I'm gonna have to see if my package store has it. What's it called again?
Okay, Angel's Envy rye.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, real good bourbon, man.
I'm sure Louisiana got some crazy whiskeys. I mean, they probably was making it in the back of your house, right? But so
yeah, man.
I'm a tequila and whiskey guy. Is there? Can you tell me like what type of cigar I should drink with tequila, or what type of cigar I should? Did I say it wrong? Smoke with tequila, or kind of cigar I should smoke with whiskey?
So pairings are very important.
Yes, that's why I'm asking, right?
I don't really know about clear. Okay. I know more about dark because that's what I do.
Yep.
So since you're just starting, I don't know how many you smoked or how much you smoke. So I don't know if you know they're mild, they're medium, and then they're full body cigars, right?
Okay. Yep.
So your Connecticut leaves are more your milder cigars, give you that more experience. I mean, so you probably can do those with tequila. Right, but when you get into your heavier cigars, I like Woodford Reserve.
Okay, is that a cognac?
No, it's a bourbon.
A bourbon, got you.
Yeah, I love it. Woodford Reserve is probably one of the best bourbon.
Yes. I've seen it, and yes,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's my go-to. Now, I also have Weller. I also have 1792 small batch. So depending on the cigar that I'm smoking, it depends on the drink that I'm going to drink with and pair with it.
Got you. So how are you drinking your bourbon? Neat or on the rocks?
Neat.
So you got it neat with your cigar.
Yes, sir.
Fire, man. Listen, I'm gonna be all over the place, yo. One of the things that I said when I was on live and you came in there and I said I want to join the podcast was there was a bunch of things you did. One of the things that I said I wanted to talk to you about was your fashion. Like you in a polo right now, so they don't even know how fresh to death you be. You fresh out of work or something.
No, I just put this on because I wanted to be, somewhat presentable for my boy. So,
Meanwhile, I'm rocking the Vibe hoodie.
I actually could have put on the TTT Network hoodie.
That's what I'm talking about. But
I think it's back home. I didn't bring it. I gotta get it when I go in December. Yeah, man.
So when I think about fashion, when I think about you, you be fresh to death, bro. I'm gonna have to make this into a clip and then like screenshot some of the photos of you and your buddies, man.
Man.
These events that you be at, like what's like how you be so fresh? Like how I get fresh like that?
So here's the truth to it. I never was a hat guy.
Okay.
So our president of our cigar group, Floyd Mosley, my boy, he always has the fedora on.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, he dresses better than I do.
Oh man, you be
so
fresh.
I have
too.
to give credit where credit is due because it's like, now, don't get me wrong. I got some fashion, I got some taste, I know how to put outfits together. But when it comes to those hats, I had to go to the source and say, look, man, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And he told me the different types of fedoras and the styles. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I took that all in. We went to Houston, my first year when I went to Houston. And, they have vendors there. And the guy was selling fedoras. I'm like, okay, here's my shot. I bought 3 of them, right? And when I buy my fedoras, I already have an outfit in mind that I got home or something that I can buy to freshen it up, to make it look right. So over the years, I've just come to love them, man, and to see the outfit put together and really it helps. It makes the outfit pop 10 times more when you have the fedora on. So if you think you're clean with just just a regular fit on with the shoes, you throw a fedora on. Now it takes it up to another level.
Now, what you spraying on yourself? Because if you look that good, I know you smelling good too.
Man, a little YSL, a little light, something, little white, a little light, YSL or something light,
Man, I be seeing y'all, man, and I'm just like, yo, that's my boy. You and all your friends, and
yeah, man.
You be posting all the stuff, and I love your content, good brother.
Man, I appreciate it. It means a lot, man, because like I said, when you get older, you're supposed to elevate. And so my daddy dresses nice. So I think a lot of that goes to him too, because he likes to dress. I just took it up a notch with the hats. And I think it's sentimental now because my grandmother passed in September of last year.
I'm sorry.
She was a hat queen.
Oh, I can see her in church with that hat.
I'll
forget about it.
So I wear my hats now in honor of my grandmother.
That's fire.
Yeah,
That's
man.
fire.
Yeah, man.
So you into so much, bro.
Yeah, man.
Mary Kay. Let's talk about Mary Kay, right?
Let's talk about Mary Kay.
I want to say that I'll be all over the place, but what I write down here, I wrote something down here. I don't even know where it's at. Oh yeah. I like that high intensity sport.
Hey, man.
Listen, it's not bad.
That's the shit.
It's not bad, bro. I promise you,
yeah,
man.
I got something in there now.
If I'm just stepping out real quick, I just pow.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you get involved with Mary Kay?
So Mary Kay came
I thought it was just for women.
No.
That's what you changed my mind with that. I had no idea. Man. You said you was doing Mary Kay, and I kind of was like, let's talk a little bit about it.
I know where your mind went, but it's all good. You're my boy. So I came into Mary Kay at a time when I was transitioning and trying to do something different. And a friend of mine approached me and asked me would I be interested in doing Mary Kay. I'm like, Mary Kay? Like, I don't know if I want to sell no Mary Kay, but I'm like, you know what? It's a new life. Let me try something different. And because everything I put my hands on, I'm passionate about. And so I gave it a shot. And what I found out was the men in Mary Kay will sell a whole lot quicker than women will.
Which is crazy. Looking from the outside in.
Yeah, man. A woman will buy something quicker from a man than they will a woman.
Yo,
now, don't get me wrong.
That's
With
funny.
respect to the women in Mary Kay, because we got some absolutely dynamic women that work for Mary Kay. But for me, it came real easy because I'm number one, I'm a people person, and I didn't have any issues selling any products that I had. I was the king of my unit in 2022.
You know what's crazy?
And so,
as my mother, we're gonna get back to Mary Kay, but just to tell you, I think this has a little bit to do why men sell better than women, right?
okay.
Just to touch on that real quick. I got in my mom's car one day and she had a GPS on and it was a man's voice. Most GPSs are female voices.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? I said, Mom, like, why, like, whose voice is that? She said, oh, that's Steve. I said, why you change the voice? She said, I don't want no bitch telling me what to do. Turn left, turn right. She said, nah.
That makes perfect sense.
So, I mean, it might have something to do with it. I don't know. It just made me think of that.
Steering wheel Steve.
Steve. So,
yeah.
Are you still involved with Mary Kay?
I took a sabbatical because I wanted to. We lost our unit, so you have to maintain a certain quota.
Yep.
And so when you lose that, you lose your team, and then you go back to your senior team, right? So in the process of me transitioning, I wanted to join another unit, and so I sat out a year because you have to sit out a year before you can, join another unit. And so, but then I started pursuing this career and started to focus on this more. So I have not re-signed back up yet.
I get it, man. You got so much going on, man. You got so much going on. What's the told you I'm all around. What's the cigar life there in Idaho? Is there any?
No.
There's nothing.
None at all.
Like how about getting your cigars?
Oh, they have a couple of different places that I can buy cigars. So I mean, I'm glad about that. Now, it's not an extreme variety of what I like, but they have some of the ones that I like. So it's not hard at all. But culturally up here, it's hard. That's probably been the most difficult part of me being here because there are not a lot of African Americans here, and so culturally, it's nothing to do. Nothing.
Yeah, no, I get you. I got you. I don't even. Is it diverse where you at?
No.
Okay. That's so funny because we don't even the funny thing about that is we don't even need to elaborate. Right. I'm sure everybody understands what's going on here.
I went to Walmart when I first got here because I said to myself, okay, if I'm gonna see some black people, I know I gotta go to Walmart. Bro, I went to Walmart and I saw a black person. I was like, hey.
He was like, we should be friends.
Yeah, how you doing? Let me shake your hand. So, but on the other side of that coin, everybody's been nice. Everybody's been welcoming. And so I haven't had any issues. I'm the type of person that I don't care where you go. I can adapt anywhere. It doesn't matter where I'm sent on assignment or whatever the situation is. I can adapt anywhere because as long as I can go and be respectful to people, I expect that in return. As long as people giving me that, I don't care about any of the other. I mean, it's been crazy, and I'm not going to even touch on the other part, but it's been crazy.
No, I can only imagine. So what's up with the Benz? How you get the Benz to Idaho?
I drove it up.
You drove it up here.
I drove it up there. I came home in May. I flew home in May, and I drove it back. It was a 32-hour drive.
God damn.
Yeah, man.
I hope they cherish you over there at the railroad.
They do.
You know what I mean? That's a journey, bro.
Well, the thing about this company is they will reward people who will take the action to want to move and relocate.
Good.
And so now that all of my kids are grown and doing well on their own, it was only me. So I'm like, it's not even a question.
Uh,
It
sp-
wasn't even a question for me to move.
Good, good. You mentioned your kids.
Yeah.
Big shout out to your daughter. I want to
Yeah.
thank her for her service.
Yeah,
You
man.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's in the
Yeah.
military. I see that your brother was also in the military.
Yes,
Do
he's a
you have
retired major.
yes? Do you have more people in your family who serve?
No, nobody else in my family served.
Your dad
Well,
didn't
my uncle.
serve?
I take that back. My uncle was in the Air Force. And like I said, my brother was in the Army, and that's the legist of it, really.
So where'd your daughter get that love from?
That's a good question. Probably her mom,
Okay.
because her mom was in the Navy, so that's probably
Okay,
where she got
okay,
it
all
from.
right. So
Yeah.
she got so on her mom's side, her mom like does her mom have siblings who served or did her parents serve?
No, no, nope. She
Okay,
was the only one.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Yeah,
I'm all over the place. Did you watch the Tyson fight?
man. Yeah, of what I watched it on TikTok.
You watched it on TikTok? Just the
Yeah, because
clips?
Netflix was tripping, man. Everybody was having trouble streaming. Like all the preliminary fights were great. I thought the latest fight was probably the best
The
one
best
of the
fight,
night.
yes, yes, for
Right.
sure.
So when you get to the main event, then all of a sudden it starts
Looking
struggle
like Mike
streaming.
Tyson's punch out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I I was so hopeful once they lifted restrictions and said it was no restrictions. You're just gonna cut off 1 minute, have 8 2-minute rounds. I'm like, oh yeah, he gonna knock Jake Paul ass out.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened between the sparring and the training to game day, but I was disappointed. I really was. And to be honest with you, the totality of the fight, I don't think either one of them was trying to knock each other out.
No, it was I truly believe it was fixed.
Yeah.
They nobody really lost that fight. They both got a huge bag.
Yeah, man. If that's the case, then let me fight Jake Paul next week.
He's like,
Jake
I'm
Paul.
ready to fight Tyson.
Yes. Right. 20
I
mil?
just ain't nobody. But um, that's the thing about watching things on TV because we seen Tyson with that footwork and going crazy during training.
Man.
Who's to say that wasn't before his health issues?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't
Because
even
he
think
had
about
some
that.
health issues where they had to postpone the fight.
Right.
So,
I didn't even
maybe
think
he
about that.
bounced back and wasn't the same Mike. I don't
Absolutely.
know, because he looked different in that ring. He didn't.
He did.
He looked different. His legs was looking
Man.
crazy. I never seen him bite his glove so much.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with Tyson. Like, I really didn't.
I think that was him literally wanting to unleash and him showing some sort of self-control, bruh.
Yeah,
Like that's
crazy.
huge. I think that's huge for Mike.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because you talking about an animal. Like, that dude used to rip through people.
Bruh.
And you never saw Tyson retaliate back then. Like, never. I don't care who it was. He never retaliated. He always gonna come, And so to see him act that way and fight in that manner, I was like, man,
Sit your old ass down.
I had to go smoke a cigar when I got there. I'm like, you know what? It's time to go.
They had to tell him to get up off the stool to get back in the fight. Did you see that? I was like, yo, stop playing, Mike. What the hell? Mike bug him.
Yeah. So the behind the scenes part of that is, and I'm sure you probably gonna get to that too. I always look at it from a production standpoint because that's another job that I do.
Yeah, we know that's up next. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm always looking to see what cameras are where, who's working the camera, if they making glitches or all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, because a lot of times when I do boxing, I'm on the ropes as a cameraman.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was a good production. I mean, I don't like the streaming part of it. It was horrible.
Right.
But it was a good production.
As we're gonna talk about that. As someone who owns a streaming business, I own TTT Radio Network. We stream for a living. I stream for a living. I have multiple radio stations. TTT Radio Network. Check it out.
Shout out.
But you know, I have my platform on servers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If if I pay a certain amount for a server, that server can be maxed out. If there's a lot of people, I've ran into this problem. I've had to up my server throughout the years because we've got more and more listeners. When we
Wow.
first started, 100 people listening at the same time would have the music cutting out. And I'm like, why is my radio station sounding like that? And then
Right. Right.
it come to find out that it was bandwidth and it was all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally running my platform on a virtual computer. The RAM was too high. I had to up
Yes.
my RAM on my virtual
Mm-hmm.
server.
Mm-hmm.
So to see Netflix looking like Mike Tyson's Punch Out and everybody buffering, the first thing that's coming to my mind is that they need to bump up the server. And I know it's way bigger. They're probably on like dedicated servers and they're probably doing something that I'm not even there yet. I would hope to be there one day. But seeing it buffer, I was just like, oh man, this is not good. So yeah. Let's talk about sports, good brother. First, before we get into what you got, your part, you a Saints fan?
No.
Okay. Do you even like football? Do you like football?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I don't have a team. Let me just say that. I'm a
Okay.
root for the home team through and through.
Got you.
But I'm not a diehard anybody lover. Cowboys, Saints, 49ers. I'm not one of those guys. I just like to watch. Right.
Got you.
So, yeah.
If you had to pick a team right now that you like what they're doing, who would you pick?
I like to say the Lions.
The Lions are doing. Yo, Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions and still won that game.
Still won the game, bro.
I think it was it against Houston, I think?
That was how does that even happen, bro?
Oh my gosh, man. That's people, I'm a Steelers fan, and you know, by default.
I was gonna say Steelers.
Okay.
Because I like what they're doing too.
Yeah, we
Russell
doing real good.
Russell doing his thing.
We doing real good. I'm a Steelers fan, so by default, I need to be worried about people. Well, in past years, I would have to be worried about people like the Patriots, but we know we don't got to worry about their ass. I got to worry about the Ravens. I got to worry about the Ravens. I got to worry about the Chiefs because they're in the AFC. But I'm like looking at the Lions like, yo, like that's crazy, bro.
Hey, them boys playing.
They
know what the Super Bowl is.
Exactly.
You know what the Super Bowl is, right?
Exactly. I could have talked about that and Lil Wayne not being at the Super Bowl performance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely gonna be in New Orleans. Kendrick's gonna be there.
Oh yeah, he's probably going to perform "They Not Like Us" probably 15 minutes.
Yo, that's funny, yo. That's funny you say that because I saw a post that said like at his concert at the Super Bowl, it said he gonna perform "Not Like Us," then he gonna do "Not Like Us," then he gonna do "Not Like Us" in reverse.
You're right.
Then he gonna do a Jersey Club "Not Like Us."
Not like us.
But yeah, nah. Big shout out to
every rendition of it. You don't have it.
Exactly. Let's talk about you being a cameraman for professional sports.
Yes.
Right? Is college also considered professional? No, that's just college, right?
I mean, yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
I'm a professional through and
Got
through.
you.
Yeah, it is. But if you factor in the NIL money, yes, it's professional.
Exactly. No, dead ass.
You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah. So I've been doing this now for 28 years. My career started at the TV station I work for in Shreveport, KSLA, CBS affiliate. A guy that worked there was doing it as a freelancer. And so he came to me one weekend and said, "Hey, Bobby, you want to make some extra money one weekend?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" You know. So it was a drag racing event.
Oh, I love the NHRA.
I do too.
I do.
So it was a drag racing event. We had the track up north in North Shreveport, or should I say North Caddo Parish, and I did it. And I was utility. So my job was to just extend the cables out, help set the cameras up, and we do the event. Well, the event wound up being rained out, so we didn't get a chance to do it. So we rolled all the cables back up, packed it back in the truck, and then we went home. They cut us a check and we went home. And so when they hired me full time at the TV station as a camera guy, I started perfecting my craft, and then I started accepting camera positions from ESPN, Fox, CBS, all the major networks, and it has been a blessing ever since. 28 years, I've never had to call for work. My name is in a national database, so I always covered all the sports in the region of where I was from in Shreveport. Went to Dallas, went to New Orleans, went to Texas. I mean, some other places in Texas, Oklahoma, all of those areas. I've done ESPN College Game Day twice in Baton Rouge. I've done the NBA All-Star Game twice. I did it in 2017 in New Orleans. I did the college championship, NCAA tournament. I did that in New Orleans in 17, the Final Four, or 18, whatever it was. No, 20. When was the final? It was 2022, I think it was.
Don't get me lying.
Yeah, I think it might have been 2022. So I did it that year. I've done NBA games.
Yeah, so you answered a lot of the questions that I was gonna ask you just by talking. There's super generic questions, but like, so let's just talk about how many different sports, right? Let me know if I'm wrong, right? You did NBA, you did NFL, you did horse racing. What's that called? The Derby?
Well, no, I hadn't done the Derby. So we have a track in Louisiana. And so every season for the last 5 years, 5 years. This year made the 5th year, which I wasn't there. I had a contract with a company called LTN Global out of Kansas City, right? And so thoroughbred season starts from January. I mean, quarter horse season starts from January to March. And then in May, it was thoroughbred season all the way to September. So I did that 4 days out of the week for 9 months out of the year for 4 years.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah.
And then you did boxing. You said boxing, like
I've done boxing on every level.
That's fire. So how does that part of your career affect what you're doing out in Idaho?
Well, nobody knows that I'm here.
I won't air this. I'm air this.
No, I want them to know that I'm here.
Right.
So I just recently received, because I still get emails for games back at home, right?
Because you're freelance, correct?
Yes, I'm a freelancer.
Yes.
So the lady emailed me. She said, "Hey, I need to check your availability for a game in Louisiana." And so I emailed her in a separate email and said, "Hey, I'm no longer in Louisiana. I've just relocated to Idaho, and this is where I am." She said, "You're in Idaho?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, great. That's my area. Send me your address."
Oh my goodness! See how things work, Bobby? You see how things work?
Yeah, man. So I'm 4 hours from Boise. I'm 2 hours from Spokane. Gonzaga is in Spokane.
Oh my goodness! Hella college.
I have Washington State 30 minutes from here. University of Idaho 30 minutes from here. So I have Seattle 5 hours. So if I have to go do the Seahawks, I got Portland if I have to go to do Trailblazers. So I'm within the same distance as I was in Louisiana when I had to go to New Orleans. So it all works out the way it's supposed to work out.
That's so fire, man. I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank you, man.
And it's all the work that you've been putting in to get you to where you is right now. Everything happens for a reason. We met for a reason.
Oh yeah.
You took that job with the railroad for a reason.
Yep.
And we're gonna move on to this next thing. Actually, before we move on to the next thing, I know you know what it is. I remember seeing you pictures of you with superstars with this cameraman position. I can't think of them off the top of my head. You would know a lot better than I would. Yep. Who are some people you got pictures with through this whole? I see. Oh, Shaq was one of them. Shaq,
Steph, Dale.
Karl
Malone.
Who Dale? When you said Dale, who?
Dale, his daddy, Dale Curry.
Okay, Dale Curry. Got you. Yep.
Who did I say?
You said Shaq.
Karl Malone.
Yep, Karl Malone.
Yeah, Karl Malone. Just some Iron Eagle, CBS reporter. Who else? What's the guy's name? My goodness. Hello, friends. Jim Nance.
Jim Nance, yes,
Jim
yes.
Nance.
Okay.
I Desmond Howard for College Game Day. I mean, the whole crew for College Game Day, with the exception of Nick Saban and Pat McAfee. Is that his name? Yeah.
Yep, yep.
But I've taken pictures with all of them. And one day they'll go into my when I finally settle down and retire, get my dream home. That'll be all those pictures will be in my man cave. So I've had a lot of opportunities, and I've seen a lot of celebrities. Been blessed to be able to brush shoulders with them. And here's the thing with me, because I'm a professional, I don't ask for autographs
For sure.
because I'm in a professional environment. When I first started, I did because I was like starstruck. I'm like, oh my God. But now, even with Shaq, when I took the picture with Shaq at the 2017 All-Star game, man, he was making fun of my phone. He was like, man, what kind of phone that is you got? And I'm like, no, it's Android. Man, you need to get an iPhone. Get rid of those shit. I said, well, I'll tell you what. You take a picture with your iPhone, I'll take a picture with my Android, see who got the best picture. And he said, all right, bet. Shaq he's a
Super
comedian.
competitive.
Yeah, very so.
Yeah.
So we took that, and that's how I got the picture with him.
Tell me a time where you were on the camera and you had to change, you had to move. You seen something you wasn't supposed to see.
Oh my God. Countless times. I was at an NBA game. No, I was at a college football game, and this was on TV. And you can Google, this is on YouTube.
Okay.
I was on the sideline, and it was a Houston Cougars football game. And the teammates got into a scuffle. So I was right there in the mix of it. So now the only thing I have is this camera on my shoulder, and you got all these 200 and 300 pound linebackers and linemen, and I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. But I tried to get the shot, but I couldn't. But that and some woman's popped out almost on live TV. So I had, at a football game, she was celebrating.
Just like jumping up and down and
Yeah,
it popped
so
out like Janet.
I was at Tiger Stadium, which is probably the best football atmosphere you can be at. And I was just, because that's my job as a camera guy, is to find the stuff that people want to see at home, right? Celebrating and the victory, the happiness in the victory, and the defeat, like the people crying. So this one particular game, LSU had just scored, and this lady had been hounding me all night. Oh, come on, camera guy, woo, woo, woo. And so she was jumping up, and
the whole titty popped out. Oh,
so I've had some experiences to be able to see the things that I've seen and to be able to bring them home to you. And I mean that in a general sense, the people, the audience, is something that I enjoy doing. When I put a camera on my shoulder and I'm at these events, I don't care if it's high school, college, or professional. I try my best to do the best work that I humanly possibly can. My nickname is the Human Steadicam, because when I put a camera on my shoulder, yeah, so it ain't shaky at all, man. It's like, hey,
that's fire.
Because I've been doing it for so long.
Right.
So I absolutely enjoy it, man. It's something that I'm passionate about, and that's why they've been calling me for 28 years.
Good, man. Good. So let's talk about you in Freemasonry.
Okay.
Right? Because you are a Freemason, right?
I am.
How long have you been involved with the Freemasons?
Since 1997.
1997. Yo, we had a conversation, and you schooled me to a lot of stuff that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I could join.
Yes.
Right. I don't know if people. I think I confused it with the Masons, the stonemasons, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone thinks that it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. Right.
One thing I do know that you told me that it's the world's oldest and largest fraternity.
Yes, it is. It is the granddaddy of them all.
How did you become a part of it?
Well, it goes back to my daddy was a Mason.
Okay.
And at the time when I was young, my brother was too, and my cousin was too. So it kind of sparked my interest early. And I was like, okay, if this is something that I want to do, let me kind of, look into it a little bit. And it just it just happened, man. Like I got into with some of the guys in my hometown in Mendon, and I submitted my application. You know, they vetted me real good, and that was the process, man. And I will say this, out of all the things that you hear about masonry, man, it's probably been one of the best things that I've done in my life.
That's fire. And you guys do a lot of things.
Yes,
Shriners is a
yes,
part
I'm a
of a
Shriner as
part
well.
of part of Freemasonry, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wrote this. I wrote this down here, and I'm just gonna ask you, right? It says, I wrote it out myself, and it just says you personally do a lot in the community, and I seen you in various situations where with kids and with adults. Talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about your work in the community. But at the same time, I seen that your mom was awarded with a award recently, and does that
Mm-hmm.
drive come from her? Because you actually just talked about your dad being a Freemason as well. So
Mm-hmm.
your dad being a Freemason, your mom putting in this work in the community. I don't think you
Mm-hmm.
had a choice to be great, bro.
Well, we were raised right, man, and my mom is a part of the D9. She's a Delta Sigma Theta.
Fire, fire.
So yeah, sorority member. So, I mean, she instilled with us, and my sister is awesome. She's an athletic director. I mean, she's a commissioner for the HBCU conference. She is amazing.
Fire.
Yeah, and you're right. We didn't have a choice. Like my mom and dad instilled in us early of what it meant to not only serve but be the best that you can be. And to whom much is given, much is required. And it's not in me to not be the person that I am, right? So I feel like in order for you to receive continued blessings, and it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary all the time, but I think I get joy out of helping people.
Yeah.
I get joy out of seeing people smile and say thank you, and that's the driving force for me. And so it's like second nature. I mean, I will help, I will do whatever I have to do without the expectation of anything in return. And I think a lot of people do things in this age of social media, in this age of with cameras everywhere, everybody's looking to get those likes and those clicks.
Yep.
And you're not doing it with the right heart, right?
Yeah.
So I like to do things because my heart is there and it's pure, and it will always be that way, and nothing will ever change that. There's no kind of status, there's no kind of monetary value you could put on it. My core, the core of me, is a giving person.
Said it. That's it right there, man. And it's
Yeah,
evident. It's evident. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
see it. It
Hmm.
spews out of you. And then, you know, me seeing the post of your mom receiving that award, I was like, this is where it comes from. It's literally in him.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So
man. I was surprised because I didn't even know anything about it. She recently rung the bell. So she was dealing with some cancer stuff, and she recently rung the bell, completed all her chemo and
yes.
radiation. So she's on the road to recovery. Blessings for that, man. But yeah, man, they instilled it in us early, man.
Well,
They really
God
did.
bless her. I help her. I hope she has, you know, a healthy life and,
Yeah, man.
all the good stuff that I could say about her. I'm saying it, but
Yeah,
without
yeah,
saying it.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
I always,
I mean,
when
but
in situations like that, I never know what the right thing to say is, but you know what I
right,
mean.
right.
You know what I mean.
But in a full circle moment, I would like to also take this time, man, to just shout you out too, man. From seeing you when we first started this, man, and watching you grow to where you are now, man, with your podcast. I always told you, man, when we did talk, do what you do it, man. Don't never let anybody stop you from doing it, and you do it well. You have brought a lot of joy in my life on mornings where I didn't feel well. I mean, I get up every morning. Let me listen to DJ DNA before I go to work, because you brought that energy, man. You brought that life to people, man, and to see everybody come together in the chat and the community, and the gene pool, hashtag gene pool,
Yes.
hashtag FTK,
Yes.
all of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
big shout out to you, man, on continuing the legacy of your father, man. I know he's truly proud of you. I'm proud of you, man, and we're gonna always be solid, man. I really appreciate this opportunity. I really
No,
do.
I appreciate those words, good brother. You already know what it is. But
Oh yeah.
before I get you out of here, I got a segment that I call One Gotta Go. And I give you two options,
Okay.
and you gotta tell me which one you don't like. or which one's gotta go.
Okay.
All right, I just got a couple. Pelicans or Saints?
Oh Lord, Saints.
Saints gotta go.
Mhm.
Football or basketball?
Football.
LSU?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
oh,
Go ahead.
that's that's tricky because I'm a '90s guy, so I'm diehard Jordan,
Right.
and that era of basketball. This new era of basketball, not so much. So I'll probably say basketball now.
Basketball.
Yeah,
LSU or Raging Cajun?
Raging Cages.
Let's go.
They gotta go, man. It's LSU all day.
Cognac or whiskey?
Cognac.
And the last one, 80s R&B and 90s R&B.
Ooh, man. Ooh. Can I plead the fifth?
You could, but the people want to know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, since I grew up more in my teens in the '90s, I'm gonna say the '80s.
80s got to go.
Yeah.
No, and I'm
But
with that. I respect it. So if you were to ask, I say that you had the answer, but when people ask me, and you probably heard me say this, my favorite decade of R&B is whatever decade I'm listening to. It could be, if I'm listening to 80s, I am fully engulfed in it. And the same with 90s, 2000s, even today's R&B.
Yeah.
So
you forgot to add Grambling or Southern, and I was gonna say Southern.
I've been,
The Bayou Classic is one of the biggest rivalries in HBCU history, and so
I
it's
dropped the
coming up
ball on that
Thanksgiving
one.
weekend. So Southern got to go.
That's me being from the North and not knowing.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's all good.
You know what
It's
I mean?
all good. It's all
Well,
good.
thank you, Bobby B. Jr., for coming on here and sharing this time with me. Anytime you got anything going on, this is your platform. If you want to grab a couple followers, let them know where they can follow you at.
Man, you can follow me at Facebook at Bobby Baker on Facebook, and you can follow me on TikTok at Bobby B Jr. too. That's where I'm at. So, follow me, hook me up, man. The content is the content. I rock with my boy DJ DNA, man, and everybody else a part of the gene pool. So, man, keep doing your thing. Shout out to you, man, and I appreciate the opportunity for coming on, man.
I appreciate you. You guys make sure you go check out his account and see how fresh he is. But
Yes,
until next time, I'm DJ DNA. This is the DJ DNA podcast. Peace.